And Ayn Rand, more than anyone else, did a fantastic job of explaining the morality of capitalism, the morality of individualism.
But the Paul Ryans, the Rand Pauls, the Jim Jordans, these are the faces of the new ideas.
Rand celebrates capitalism and the individual.
The inspiration for a lot of these young guns comes from icons of the past. Ronald Reagan, Milton Friedman, Ayn Rand.
Ayn Rand, author of the novels The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged.
Atlas Shrugged might be the second most read book in history.
There were certain writers that just had this vision of the future.
Over the past year, The Economist and others have reported sharply rising sales of Rand's books.
Atlas Shrugged is out, so you got to get a scene from that new movie.
Okay, let me go.
And she still sold it. It's a garbage because it was telling the truth.
I am a big fan of Ayn Rand and read all of her novels.
So if Ayn Rand were here today, I think she would do a great job in showing us just how wrong what government is doing is.
You say that you do not like the altruism by which we live. You like a certain kind of Ayn Randist selfishness.
I would say that I don't like is too weak a word. I consider it evil. Because we are now moving towards complete collectivism or socialism. And we are moving that way only because of our altruist morality.
Yes. Now, one of the principal achievements of this country in the past 20 years particularly, I think most people agree, is the gradual growth of social protective legislation based on the principle that we are our brother's keepers.
I feel that it is terrible, that you see destruction all around you, and that you are moving toward disaster until and unless all those welfare state conceptions have been reversed and rejected.
47% of the people who will vote for the president no matter what. All right, there are 47% who are with him, who are dependent upon government, who believe that they are victims, who believe that government has a responsibility to care for them, who believe that they're entitled to health care, to food, to housing, to you name it. But it's an entitlement, and the government should give it to them. And they will vote for this president no matter what.
And I want to you're a physician, Ron Paul, so you're a doctor, you know something about this subject. Let me ask you this hypothetical question. A healthy 30-year-old young man has a good job, makes a good living, but decides, you know what, I'm not going to spend $200 or $300 a month for health insurance because I'm healthy, I don't need it. But, you know, something terrible happens. All of a sudden, he needs it. Who's going to pay for if he goes into a coma, for example? Who pays for that?
In a society that you accept welfareism and socialism, he expects the government to take care of it.
What do you want?
But what he should do is whatever he wants to do and assume responsibility for himself. My advice to him would have a major medical policy, but not be forced.
But he doesn't have that. He doesn't have it, and he needs intensive care for 6 months. Who pays?
That's what freedom is all about, taking your own risk. This whole idea that you have to prepare and take care of everybody.
But Congressman, are you saying the society should just let him die?
No.
You are out to destroy almost every edifice in the contemporary American way of life. Our Judeo-Christian religion, our modified government-regulated capitalism, our rule by the majority will. Other reviews have said that you scorn churches and the concept of God. Are these accurate criticisms?
Yes.
Christ, every important moral leader in man's history, has taught us that we should love one another. Why, then, is this kind of love, in your mind, immoral?
It is immoral if it is a love placed above oneself.
And then if a man is weak or a woman is weak, then he is beyond love?
He certainly does not deserve it. He certainly is beyond.
There are very few of us then in this world, by your standards, who are worthy of love.
Unfortunately, yes, very few.
Because it's that kind of thinking, that kind of writing that is sorely needed right now.
This came about democratically, and free people in a free country voted for this kind of government, wanted this kind of legislation. Do you object to the democratic process?
I object to the idea that people have the right to vote on everything. The traditional American system was a system based on the idea that majority will prevailed only in public or political affairs. Therefore, I do not believe that if a majority votes on any issue, that this makes the issue right. It doesn't.
Mussten als Partei in der Minorität bleiben, weil wir die wertvollsten Elemente des Kampfes und des Opfersinns in der Nation mobilisierten, die zu allen Zeiten nicht die Mehrheit, sondern die Minderheit ausgemacht haben.
Then if a man is weak or a woman is weak, then he is beyond love?
He certainly does not deserve it. He certainly is beyond.
There are very few of us then in this world, by your standards, who are worthy of love.
Unfortunately, yes, very few.
Is this whole philosophical idea of multicultural diversity, which on the face sounds wonderful. Let's appreciate and value everyone's cultures. But guess what? Not all cultures are equal. Not all values are equal.
In our determination, we found that these classes were promoting ethnic resentment. They were promoting ethnic solidarity in ways that are really intolerable in an educational environment.
Mexico could melt down. Our CIA is saying that Pakistan and Mexico are the most unstable in the world, and that's saying something, and could melt down at any time. So Mexico is our number 2 threat. Al-Qaeda is our number 1 threat. You say they might be combined.